Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins collided in chaotic fashion this week, and the fallout extended far beyond what aired during Raw. The night began with a contract signing segment for their upcoming SummerSlam match, scheduled for August 2nd. Both men sat across from Adam Pearce as the official paperwork for their title bout was finalized. What started as a tense verbal exchange quickly spiraled into something more personal. Triple H's name was invoked during the segment, with pointed remarks about Rollins being positioned as number 2 behind Reigns for years. The comment struck a nerve, and Rollins fired back with a line referencing Reigns' past injury absence, suggesting his spot at the top was never truly earned through consistency. That exchange became the final straw. The segment ended with an in-ring physical confrontation, a stomp and a pedigree spot that left the arena in an uproar as officials scrambled to separate both men before the show went to commercial. Television cameras cut away, and for most viewers watching at home, that appeared to be the end of the story for the night. It was not. Backstage sources and footage circulating after the show revealed that the confrontation continued well past the final bell. Seth Rollins was making his way through the parking lot of the American Airlines Center in Dallas, Texas, heading toward his vehicle, when Roman Reigns appeared from behind a row of parked cars. Without warning, Reigns delivered a Superman punch directly to Rollins, catching him off guard before he could react. Rollins was driven backward into a nearby vehicle, and Reigns followed up with a series of strikes before security personnel rushed in. The ambush lasted only seconds, but the impact was significant enough that both men needed to be physically pulled apart by a growing group of security staff and backstage personnel who had heard the commotion. Multiple individuals were required to separate the two, with Reigns continuing to shout at Rollins even as he was being restrained. Rollins, holding his jaw, attempted to push back toward Reigns before being ushered in the opposite direction by officials. The scene remained chaotic for several minutes, with car alarms triggered nearby and onlookers gathering at the edge of the parking area before the situation was fully contained. The trigger for this escalation traces directly back to the verbal exchange during the contract signing. Reigns has spent much of 2026 reasserting his position at the top of the roster, and the number 2 comment aimed at Rollins was framed as a reminder of the hierarchy Reigns believes still exists between them. Rollins' response, bringing up Reigns' injury-related absence from the ring, was viewed as a direct challenge to that hierarchy, questioning whether Reigns' dominance was built on sustained excellence or on circumstance. For Reigns, being outmaneuvered verbally in front of a live audience, followed by a physical counter from Rollins in the ring, created a situation that could not be settled through a handshake or an in-ring altercation alone. The parking lot ambush served as Reigns' way of reasserting control after being embarrassed on camera. This confrontation did not emerge in isolation. The tension between these two competitors has built steadily. The contract signing led to a verbal war, which led to an in-ring brawl, which then extended into a parking lot ambush hours later. For longtime followers of both competitors, the history runs deeper than the current title picture. Reigns and Rollins were both founding members of The Shield, alongside Dean Ambrose, a group that once represented loyalty and brotherhood inside WWE. That shared history adds a layer of personal stakes to the current conflict that extends beyond championship gold. With SummerSlam set for August 2nd, this parking lot incident directly raises the stakes for their scheduled title match. Rollins now enters the contest not just fighting for a championship, but carrying the physical and emotional weight of an ambush that was not part of any scripted segment inside the arena. Reigns, meanwhile, has shown he is willing to step outside the boundaries of a standard confrontation to make his point. Both men are now on a collision course that has escalated well past the standard rivalry build-up, setting the stage for what could be one of the most personal encounters of the year at SummerSlam.